addition, last week, the National Association of Realtors agreed for the first time that Americans can negotiate lower commissions when they buy or sell their home.
That is just a flat out lie. I'm not diving into politics with this video, but that is how big of a misconception this idea is. Real estate is changing forever. That's probably the headline that you've been seeing this last week or so, now that NAR has settled their recent class action lawsuit. So in this video, I'm going to be covering the facts of this NAR settlement, and I'm going to share my opinion on how this is going to affect home buyers, home sellers, and real estate agents moving forward. If you're interested in real estate education, becoming a real estate agent, or life as a real estate agent, subscribe to the channel. So first, I'm just going to cover the actual litigation against NAR and what NAR is. Just a little backstory. NAR is the National Association of Realtors. Basically, to have access to the MLS or multiple listing service, agents need to be a part of NAR. The lawsuit that was recently put against them claimed that NAR was price fixing. They were setting commission rates, so sellers and buyers basically had to pay this, or sellers had to pay this 6% to agents. NAR on March 15th settled this lawsuit. So this would basically clear and say, NAR did not price fix, there's no wrongdoings, and that there would be some changes moving forward so there's transparency between consumers and agents and brokerages. Here are the facts moving forward with this settlement. Number one, the real estate industry is changing. Number two, co-op commission will no longer be listed on the MLS. Number three, buyers will be required to sign contracts with real estate agents moving forward if they want representation. I'm here to share some of the miscommunications and clickbait, media headlines, and share my opinion. So the first misconception is a big one. It's that real estate agents choose the commission amount. They get to pick that they get paid 6%. So I'm in California, and in the last 5 years of real estate, I haven't seen any seller give out 6% commission. More often than not, the buyer commission offered on the MLS is between 1% and 2.5%. And on the listing side, most sellers are probably negotiating between a 4 and 5% commission that they're offering to listing agents. I'm also going to take one step back. So if you don't understand how the commission works in real estate currently, right now a seller will negotiate with a real estate agent who's attached to a brokerage, and they'll, let's say, offer 5% commission to that listing agent and their brokerage. That listing agent and brokerage can offer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% to a buyer's agent for bringing them a buyer. Most commonly, right, if a seller is offering 5% to their listing agent, it's going to be split 2.5 to the listing agent for selling the home, 2.5 to the buyer's agent for bringing the buyer, and that's split between the brokerages. So that is misconception number one, that seller fee was never negotiable. It's always been negotiable. This is such a big misconception that even our president, Joe Biden, went on national media and said this will be the first time in American history where commissions are negotiable.
In addition, last week, the National Association of Realtors agreed for the first time that Americans can negotiate lower commissions when they buy or sell their home.
That is just a flat out lie. I'm not diving into politics with this video, but that is how big of a misconception this idea is. To take it a step further, sellers don't even have to use a real estate agent to sell their home. They've been able to sell for sale by owner, right? I mean, imagine a real estate attorney. They're going to sell their home on their own. They don't need an agent to do that. Now, they may fetch a higher price using an agent because this agent might already have a pool of buyers, or they might, be able to market it better than a real estate attorney. But there is no law stating that someone needs to use a real estate agent to sell their home. And so that's kind of where this whole thing stems from, is that huge misconception that someone needs to use an agent and they have to pay 6% to use that agent to buy or sell a home. So now I'm going to actually step into the proposed changes of the settlement. And this is directly from NAR's website. So the proposed settlement is a payment of $418 million over the next 4 years to sellers that have sold a home using the MLS in a certain time frame. This proposed settlement would resolve any claims against NAR and members of NAR. Additionally, NAR agreed in this proposed settlement that co-op commissions would no longer be listed on the MLS. And so remember that co-op commission is the portion that a listing agent's brokerage offers to a different agent for bringing a buyer. So that is publicly listed on the MLS. The new proposed change would say that is no longer allowed to be publicized. So buyer's agents don't know if the seller's offering commission. This way, a buyer's agent is going to show and write offers for their buyers on any home, regardless of how much the seller is offering to pay. A key point in this proposed settlement is that a seller can still offer co-op commission, but it cannot be publicized on the MLS. The second change in this proposed settlement, and this is a big one, is that NAR also agreed to create a new rule that any buyer working with a real estate agent must sign a buyer broker agreement or a contract stating that they will have this agent represent them. So this information is I've just taken directly from NAR's website. I'm just reiterating it and summarizing it for you. If you want to actually read through everything, go ahead. The link is right here for you. And if you have your own ideas about this, love to see it in the comments. Please drop a comment. And if you like the video so far, leave us a like. And the next part of the video, I'm going to actually share my opinion on how this is going to affect home buyers, home sellers, and real estate agents. So I'm going to start with home buyers first. I think this could be actually a great opportunity for home buyers to educate themselves and take more time in interviewing the right agent. So I've seen this quite a bit in real estate so far. A lot of buyers will just kind of work with the first agent they meet, or they will, work with a family member that is part-time. That agent might not be the best person to represent them. That agent might not have local knowledge. They might not have a good vendor list, right? They might not have like a good termite inspector, a good home inspector, and they may generally just not know what's going on with the market. And so right now, that agent is somewhat incentivized to just get the deal done, right? They're not going to necessarily go out of their way to make sure that their client gets the best possible deal. And this is with any industry, unfortunately. So I think that buyers having to sign this agreement with the agent they're going to work with is a plus for buyers, right? They're going to do more homework. They're going to make sure that they choose the right agent and get the best representation that they can. And so if you are a buyer, you might be wondering, well, is this going to cost me more? And the answer is it might, right? It's negotiable. And why I say it's negotiable is because if you pick the right agent, they can submit your offer and they can ask the seller to provide a credit to cover the cost of working with your agent. Now, I'm not saying that's a guarantee, but that is a potential, right? And it could cost more if the agent that you hired doesn't know how to negotiate for seller credits. I hate saying that it depends, but the reality is these changes aren't in place yet, and it does depend on the agent that you pick. If the agent is a fantastic negotiator, they're going to save you money. They're going to be able to still get you that home and ask for seller credits to cover whatever cost it is to work with them. If you work with an agent that's inexperienced, it may cost you a lot more. And that's not any different than what's happening right now. Experienced agents do a good job negotiating for their clients, asking for credits for, repairs or interest rate buy down, and inexperienced agents typically just want to get the deal done. In summary, for buyers, I think this could be a positive thing because they're going to do more due diligence. They're going to have better representation when purchasing a home. For home sellers, I don't think there's actually going to be that much of a change. Yeah, they're going to be saving maybe 1 to 3% on commission, but they may still have to offer that to buyer's agents. The only difference is it's not advertised on the MLS. It's just very clearly written, and there's just a lot more transparency on how much is being given and if sellers want to give it. I've been seeing a lot online. People are saying, wow, home prices are going to drop. Sellers are going to save so much money. They're going to be willing to lower the prices. And I want you to think about this. If you were selling your home today, Would you take less for your home just because you can? I sure wouldn't. So to those people that are saying home prices are going to drop just because sellers can lower the price, that's not true. I simply just don't think that's true. And the other thing that I want to talk about with sellers is that sellers have always had the opportunity to sell for sale by owner, right? Depending on what type of state you're in, you could just hire a real estate attorney. You could just sell the home. You technically don't even need a real estate attorney. If you understand how title works and you know how to transfer title on your own, you could go do that on your own. So overall for sellers, I don't think it's going to be much of a change. Not really a win or a loss. So this last part, this is just my opinion, and this is probably the group that's freaking out the most, is real estate agents. Real estate agents are losing their minds right now because there's a huge change. This could affect their livelihoods. You know, anytime there's a big change and it has a big impact on someone's life, it's natural to have some fear. It's unknown. We don't know what's going to happen. It's scary, but it doesn't need to be. And so my message to all the agents out there is educate yourself and be ready to adapt. You know, if this is the career that you want to stay in, be ready to adapt. I'm actually looking forward to the changes. I think the changes could be really positive for buyers, and I do believe this is going to raise the bar for agents. Agents are going to need to be more skilled. So agents, this is what I'm personally working on. I'm working on developing my skills way more, right? Being able to communicate and deliver how I provide value to buyers, and doing that through social proof, right? So just this last weekend, I was fortunate enough, my clients just got under contract on a property for $90,000 less than the list price, right? And that wasn't by accident. We've been tracking this property. We've seen that its days on market is really high, and the property actually is fully renovated. So it's a really good opportunity for my buyers. And so having these types of examples of social proof and evidence that you care about your buyers, you're going to bat for them and negotiating for them, that's what's going to continue to get you clients. And so agents, the next thing is you're going to get asked about this settlement a lot. You're going to get asked, how is this going to affect the future? And I would say take some time, really think about how you can answer this question elegantly, and make sure that you can explain the economics and how compensation works. And then another thing agents to expect, and this is actually something that I don't do right now that I'm going to have to learn how to use and how to have a good conversation around, is the buyer broker agreement. That's going to be a requirement for buyers to work with us. And obviously with all these changes, we're going to have to adjust and adapt our workflows and forms. But that stuff is going to happen when it happens, right? Right now, I would say the biggest thing is focus on your business, focus on talking to people and educating them versus defending real estate agents and their commissions. So in summary, with the NAR lawsuit and the settlement, we know for sure we're going to see major changes to the industry. Compensation co-op will not be listed on the MLS, and agents will have to utilize that buyer broker agreement. If you're having any fears, or you just want to have a conversation about this NAR lawsuit, the NAR settlement, and how to move forward as a buyer, seller, or real estate agent, just email me. I'd love to have that conversation.